first instrument I'm going to play is, as he said, these are all different kinds of imbiras. This one is called the imbira Zavadzimu. So Vadzimu are known as, translates as the ancestor spirits. So these are actually instruments native to Zimbabwe. This is kind of the iconic instrument of Zimbabwe. And while it's sometimes misunderstood as ancestor worship, instead it's the idea that ancestors always want to continue to be a part of our lives, right? So that the people that have passed on before us continue to serve as elders and to bring us wisdom in our lives. So they play these in long all-night ceremonies where they've brewed a 7-day kind of liquor called bira, and the ceremony is also called a bira. And throughout the night, after many, many hours of playing this instrument and dancing and singing and clapping, an ancestor will arrive in the form of one of the people in the community, and then they take on the qualities of that ancestor. So I thought I would start by playing the first song that is always taught to those of us here in the U.S. and the Western world who come to love and appreciate this music. This one is called Karega Mombe, which means take the bull by the horns. So Mombe, you can say that with me? Mombe. Very good, yes. So Karega Mombe, take the bull by the horns. So what I'm about to do here is a very scientific thing where I take a stick and I'm going to shove it in, and it keeps it wedged, keeps the imbira wedged within this gourd so that it'll stay connected to the gourd. So if I didn't have the gourd, imagine playing a guitar on just a flat board without the body of the guitar to resonate. So that's what the gourd does. And originally these were made from pumpkin gourds, a similar pumpkin. They have a sweet pumpkin in Zimbabwe. But now, of course, this is fiberglass. And Mark, of course, noted that Fanta is one of the preferred drinks in Zimbabwe. Actually, all of Africa, I don't know how Fanta took hold, but it took hold on the whole continent. I'm sure it had to do with colonialism. But I'm actually an ethnomusicologist and not an economist, so. Do you want me to move this any closer again? Okay, well, you can just shift around if it seems not quite loud enough. So the next piece I thought I'd play for you is called Nemam Sasa. And Nemam Sasa means to build a temporary shelter. And it's a song that talks not only about the idea of shelter in the cosmological world, but also in the very real sense of when they were traveling and being pushed in different places by either neighboring and warring groups or colonial entities. And so this Nemam Sasa is the name of this one. Also, I welcome you to close your eyes and breathe in and breathe out and just enjoy the sound. And I also welcome you to, if you wish, to come around and watch what my hands are doing, because it's so hard to see what the heck is going on back here, isn't it? I need a camera behind me. Yeah. So yeah, just as a short explanation, I'm playing this with only 3 fingers. So the spirit of the way it's played is this side is played with just these 2, my thumb and my first finger. So the first few notes are played down with my thumb, and the rest is played here with my first finger by clicking up. And then everything over on the left-hand side, all these big bass notes are all just being played with 1 thumb. Also, I feel in some ways that I'm always cheating people because mbira is not a solo instrument. In fact, there are very few instruments in all of sub-Saharan Africa that someone would play by themselves, at least traditionally. And so what actually happens is 2 mbira players will play together, and I don't know if any of you are musicians in the room, or singers perhaps, but you know the beauty that comes together when you have those voices together, and then there's actually a resonance that is the 2 of you together, or is the group together, and it becomes its own entity. And mbira music is especially created in that form, so that if you were to hear 2 mbira players together, you would hear a third sound that you think, wait, who's playing what, even as a performer. Nemam Sasa. So of Mbira Zavadzimu, there's different tunings. But this is another Mbira altogether. It's called the Mbira Nunga Nunga. This is what you would call a neo-traditional. Oh, all right. I can lift it up. I can follow that direction. This is called a neo-traditional style of Mbira. And what I mean by that is that it's a new tradition. So it was invented at the time when they were creating the country of Rhodesia. And in Rhodesia, there were people who had previously been at war with each other. So Shona people and neighboring people like the Nongwe, who really were in the eastern side of Zimbabwe, bordering on Malawi. And this instrument was created actually at Kwanangomang College of Music as a way of creating a tradition that borrowed from some of the proverbs and folk tales of the Shona people, but a tuning of an instrument that was more common to the Nongwe people. And so this was a way of, let's say, dumbing down the Mbira a little bit, but it was also a tool of what's called cultural nationalism. So it was a way of creating a music and dance expression and songs expressions that could be this new national identity of Rhodesia, so that these groups that previously had been at war and competition each other we can now see ourselves as one people. But nonetheless, the songs are very beautiful, and this was actually the first one that I learned from my teacher, the late Dr. Shisby Mature, who I met during my grad studies at Indiana University in Bloomington. And before that, I had only done music from Ghana, and so I found a second love in African music in this instrument. And he had just a beautiful voice. I wish you could hear it, but I'll try to give you a little bit of how he would sing as well. This song is actually an arrangement that he made called Saroawako. And Saroawako was a children's game song that meant choose your partner. So it eventually emerged as a song that people would sing at weddings for the same reason, choose your partner. And he then wrote, and we recorded an album with him that described his wife in great detail. It's very sweet. So he was kind of a romantic. So he basically wrote this love song for his wife, Saroawako. He's giving me my time back there. He says I have 3 minutes. I'm going to play one more. This is just a slightly different tuning, the Zavadzimu, but it's a slightly different tuning. So it just makes a little sweeter, almost a melancholy sound, I think.
So Angela, on behalf of all of us, I want to say thank you so much for coming and sharing this unique instrument with us, both of them, and your talents with us and your explanations. So thank you for being here on the holiest day of our year to give us just some downtime and some meditation time. And I also want to thank Mark, whose idea it was for you to come. So thank you, Mark, for making all the arrangements and taking care of everything involved with bringing Angela to us today. So thank you so much. We appreciate your being here. Yisker is set to start at 4:45, followed by Ne'ilah. Thank you.